Tokyo, increased activity at a North Korean nuclear site has once again caught the attention of analysts and renewed concerns about the complexities of denuclearization talks as President Donald Trump prepares for a summit with Kim Jong-un in the coming weeks. Satellite imagery taken last month suggests the North has begun preliminary testing of an experimental light water reactor and possibly brought another reactor online at its Yongbyon Nuclear Research Center, CBS News reports. The reports are flooding mainstream media that North Korea has had a change of heart, and after decades of wanting the United States destroyed and under Chinese control, now they are willing to give up their nukes and ICBMs. Do not believe this. It is 100% false, and I will provide you with a blunt truth. According to an analysis in Jane's Intelligence Review published earlier this month, a testing program is now underway at the experimental reactor, which means it could become operational with little warning later in 2018 or in 2019. It said the preliminary testing follows increased activity throughout 2017. In a separate report posted on 38 North, a website that specializes in North Korean news and analysis, experts said they have detected activity at another reactor in the Yongbyon complex, which is located north of Pyongyang, that could be an even bigger concern. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has pledged to denuclearize the Korean peninsula during his first meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing, according to China's state news agency. Xinhua on Wednesday quoted Kim saying that the issue could be resolved if South Korea and the United States respond to Pyongyang's efforts with goodwill. It is our consistent stand to be committed to denuclearization on the peninsula, in accordance with the will of late President Kim Il-sung and late General Secretary Kim Jong-il, Kim said, referring to his grandfather and father, according to the statement issued by China's foreign ministry. Kim Jong-un's predecessors both publicly promised not to build nuclear weapons but secretly continued to develop the program, culminating in the North's first nuclear test in 2006 under Kim Jong-il and the successful launch last November of its longest-range missile to date, which it said had realized the great historic cause of completing the state nuclear force. Pyongyang said in past failed talks aimed at dismantling its nuclear program that it would consider giving up its arsenal if the U.S. removed its troops from South Korea and withdrew its so-called nuclear umbrella from South Korea and Japan, Japan Times reports. All the sanctions that the United States has levied against North Korea are not just ignored, they are blatantly and publicly ignored. China on one hand, pretends to back the United Nations and the sanctions against North Korea, while on the other hand, they ignore the sanctions and its business as usual with North Korea. China has been furious with the United States and President Trump since the start of the president's foreign policies began. The U.S. government has approved the sale of weapons, ammunition, and other military systems to Taiwan for the first time since 2011. China is protesting the move, calling it interference in its internal matters and harmful to relations with Washington. Taiwan will get armored transports, a variety of anti-tank missiles, ship-mounted point defense guns, and other military equipment as part of the package, as well as 2 refurbished Oliver Hazard Perry-class missile frigates. The total value of the weapons package, the first in over 4 years, is estimated at $1.83 billion. A spokesman for the Chinese Foreign Ministry condemned the transaction as interference in China's internal affairs on Tuesday, calling it harmful to relations between Beijing and Washington. We resolutely oppose sales of weaponry or military technology to Taiwan by any country in any form or using any excuse, Ma Shiguang, spokesman for the Chinese government's Taiwan Affairs Office, told reporters at a briefing on Wednesday, according to AP. RT News. China's fuming over President Donald Trump's trade tariffs on imported steel and aluminum, but Beijing is also mad at Congress. The Daily Caller reports that the Senate voted Wednesday to approve the Taiwan Travel Act, which allows U.S. and Taiwanese officials to travel back and forth for meetings with their counterparts. The bill, which was passed by the House of Representatives back in January, now awaits the signature of Trump, who previously cast doubt over America's commitment to upholding the One China policy. It seriously violates the One China principle and the three Sino-US joint communiques, and we are firmly against the act, and Feng Shen, spokesperson for the Taiwan Affairs Office of the State Council, said in response to the passage of the new legislation. We sternly warn Taiwan not to rely on foreigners to build you up, or it will only draw a fire against yourself. U.S. Navy warship, the USS Hopper, sailed close to a contested reef west of the Philippines on Wednesday, 2 days before Defense Secretary Jim Mattis unveiled a new strategy calling China and Russia the biggest threats to the U.S., not terrorism. China claims virtually the entire South China Sea and has carried out extensive land reclamation work on many of the islands and reefs it claims, equipping some with airstrips and military installations that have alarmed rival claimant countries and Western governments led by the United States. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Lu Kang said Saturday that China would take necessary measures to protect its sovereignty after the USS Hopper sailed within 12 nautical miles of Scarborough Shoal on Wednesday evening without China's permission. The United States does not claim territory in the South China Sea but has declared it has a national interest in ensuring that the territorial disputes there are resolved peacefully in accordance with international law. Fox News reports, China is North Korea's most important trading partner and main source of food and energy. It has helped sustain Kim Jong-un's regime, and has historically opposed harsh international sanctions on North Korea in the hope of avoiding regime collapse and a refugee influx across their 870-mile border. China's support for North Korea dates back to the Korean War, 1950 to 1953. When its troops flooded the Korean peninsula to aid its northern ally. Since the war, China has lent political and economic backing to North Korea's leaders, Kim Il-sung, estimated 1948 to 1994, Kim Jong-il, roughly 1994 to 2011, and Kim Jong-un, 2011. CFR. ORG There is no alliance that will be formed between China, North Korea and the United States. China has dedicated billions to their military growth in 2018. China revealed on Monday that it will raise its military budget by $175 billion for the 2018 fiscal year, an 8.1% increase that is the largest military spending hike in 3 years. According to Premier Li Keqiang, the additional funding will advance all aspects of military training and war preparedness, and firmly and resolvedly safeguard national sovereignty, security, and development interests, Breitbart reports. The sky is not falling, World War III is not underway, what is happening is China and North Korea are doing what they have always done, united in their hatred of the United States. China desires to be number one globally in military power and to do as they please without the United States and UN getting involved. What is going on is a military psyop as China and North Korea have now come out of the closet publicly, stating North Korea will play nice all of a sudden, all the while, they are turning out nukes, chemical and biological weapons as fast as they can. I have been reporting for the past 18 months that China is protecting North Korea and that the reason we have allowed North Korea to do as they please, is because we simply are not prepared for a war with China. What China is currently doing in this game of chess, is to place the United States in checkmate without even so much as firing a shot. Chris Badger Thomas is a veteran who served our country as an Army combat medic. Together we will make America great again.